Hello, I am Fjallsback and welcome to Tyranny. Well, I can see there's speech bubbles blinking here for some of our people that want to talk to us. And we have a missive here as well. I will only ask once. Kid, I take you're aware of the Overlord's latest decree. It is not... If not, let me give you straight, it is bad time to be an Archon in the tiers, since most likely I'll be the one to cut you down. I thought I'd explain, it is not my choice, but if it was, I would still choose to kill you. See you soon. Blade and Mark, Archon of Shadows, and Court of Blade. Okay. Reply, arrange a meeting, say something. So he might kill us instantaneously, but are we arranging a meeting? Is that what I'm doing? His shield is just black. Right, the others have markings, but his is just black. Right, what do I do about this? Arrange a meeting. If I am to die by your hand, I would prefer it to be in battle, face to face, or would that be face to shadow? Regardless, at the risk of depriving you of the thrill of a good ambush, I would ask that we meet in person as peers, drawing blades openly, if that is what is to come. On the reverse of this parchment, I have mapped for you a location in the wilderness. Let us meet and settle things there. I'll provide you with 2 days to scout the location in advance, should you require. Hope to see you there. Okay, and we get a response in 1 hour. Go back. If I say something cordial, what will that do? My dearest Mark, I must sincerely thank you for the forward warning. Please know that I have indeed taken your words to heart, and as such I return the following in reply. Certainly I would not expect you to follow me without first testing my mettle. If we must slay each other, so be it. I respect your prowess and will stand my ground if a duel is what you desire. But I would ask that you consider instead pledging your blade to me rather than aiming for my throat. Does Kairos' decree insist that we kill each other, or merely that one should best the other? Yeah, taunting. I'm sorry, who are you again? Oh right, that creepy guy who stares to people from the shadow. If you want to say hello, just come and talk to me already. I should thank Kairos, as the Overlord has finally unburdened me of the need to treat you like anything more than what you are, a sad little sociopath who will soon be gasping for his last breath at the end of my weapon. Did your predilection for children turn even the cast metal stomach of the chorus? I've had often wondered what crime Tunan must have on you to keep you on such short leash. Of course, short leashes are ideal if the servant lives only to lick his master's feet. Sharpen your blades, freak, I'm coming for you, because let's face it, you can't come for me before you're ordered to, can you? My inkling is just go meet him. Probably kill us in a battle, but no. We've done that, alright. I have an advantage that he doesn't have, I can reload! There is that. Right, what are you saying? I can scarcely believe it. You proclaimed an edict, wielded the power of the Overlord for a moment perhaps, but it was enough to turn the tide of battle in our favor. That simply doesn't happen. The Overlord's magic is as unknowable as anything on Terratus, a mysterious and, well, I was about to say unapproachable as the Spire, but you have clearly dispelled that notion. Okay, this can only mean trouble for us. Kairos doesn't tolerate competition. What do you suggest we do next? I have a question for you now. What do you suggest that we do next? That I do next? Hold fast to your loyalties in the Overlord's hierarchy. There's always a chance that Kairos will leave you alone if your fealty is true, but I offer no guarantees. That is what I would do. Anyway, you must follow your own path. This can only mean trouble for us, I guess. No, indeed, I will want you to stand your place when the day of reckoning comes, but standing next to you might prove just as dangerous. Alright, let's be off then. And you are blinking here as well. Finishing the last pen strokes of a note running about his left arm, Lantry looks up at you with a nod.
Not to steal your glorious day in the sun, but I must say, now all my notes on you are suddenly worth 10 times their weight in iron. My journals will melt the linens off the ladies, I tell you.
Right.
What's that you say? Buxom, nubile lasses with an interest in old men who know history. You need a definitive tractatus on the trials and tribulations of the Archon of the Tears? Ha! Well, you're in luck. I think one can safely conclude that you have the Overlord's attention, and that of the Tears. Soon, all of Tyranny. You realize, I trust, I hope, that nobody other than Kairos has ever cast an edict until you.
Okay. Are you sure history hasn't just edited or forgotten those who could rival the Overlord?
Well, I have a hard time believing that someone would cast an edict and not have it noticed.
Yes, but maybe a rival cast an edict, Kairos kills the rival, takes credit for the events.
Well, as of now, I've seen with my own eyes that the Overlord is not unique in this regard. And I suppose you're all the evidence I need to throw suspicion on the record. Now, if you are right, that implies the Overlord has no qualms silencing and murdering those who pose a threat. In your case, at least my written record of you might survive. See? I'm being optimistic.
That also safe to assume that Christ will try to solve me in some fashion.
At the same time, if you really were a meaningful threat, you'd have already been the victim of an edict, or bled in Mark's daggers. So this has me rather curious. Just what does the Overlord wish to do with you? Good question. In parts north, it's commonly held that Kairos' Edict of Dust was the first, but it was cast in the year 11. It was just the first edict to ripple across the whole of Tyranny. If you lived somewhere that used to have antelope, you probably think that's the first edict of the Overlord.
Okay.
But here, the answer is given to us by the Overlord's own sense of posterity. Year 0 of Kairos' calendar is said to correspond to the day Kairos went from warlord to wearer of many crowns. A victory won when the first Edict of Storms shocked both the Cloud Barons and the realm of Medrev to capitulate.
Alright. Antelope, is that an animal?
Yes, or it was, at least, until they were all wiped out by the Edict of Dust. Or that's as best we've pieced it together from the records. From what we've gathered from their skeletons, they were some sort of mute beast man that ran on 4 legs.
Right.
Antelope are not like beast women. Antelope have hooves for fleeing. Beast women have claws for killing. Antelope don't eat meat, are sport easily, are large but helpless, lumber but lack reason, are prey. Silverback tribe hunted antelope extinct.
Uh-huh.
Old ink mystic tells many strange, stupid tales. Thinks to know everything.
I suppose I'm more of an expert in living things, like birds, and can't quite confirm or deny what you're saying, but just forget I said anything.
All right.
Will do.
So where are we gonna go first? Final judgment. We need to travel to Tunon's court in Bastard City to speak the voices of Marath and remaining thingies. Guess we're going to Tunon's court. Do we want to bring someone else along, or are we happy with this? I think I'll go with this. That should be fine. Should be fine, fine. Well, actually, we had a loot down here we forgot to pick up at one point. See if it's still there. Probably not worth anything, but gotta have to check. And indeed, it is still here. I see. Disfavored shield that has superior quality. Alright. And you are a iron greatsword and broken buckler. Alright. So we'll take all. And main gate. Some lootables over here, apparently, that we haven't looked at. Iron great spear, two-handed. We are using a one-handed spear, so it's not quite what we're looking for. There's also a thing down here. We haven't actually explored the entirety of this particular map. Bronze mace. And there's indeed something here also. Potion of protection and pollen thingy. That's put you into the main stash. And anything else? There's a camp of some sort up here. And there is damage dates back to Kai's initial conquest of the Tears. It's few of the one blemishes that remain, a testament to the Vengeance Guard's reconstruction efforts. Alright. Grab that. Alright, let's head on out of here then. So, Tunon's court. That's where we're heading. And where is that on this map here? Is that here, Bastard City? It is indeed. So this could go badly. This is also where the other guy is, Bled and Mark, or used to be at least. You see the missive from him. Let's have a look at him then. Faces Tunon's judgment. It says what else is gonna happen here? Nothing. This is this quest here. Here. Kit, if I haven't said it before, I'll say it now. I'm going to enjoy killing you, and while I'd love to carve your heart out and feed it to the darkness in a remote spot in a shaded field, unlike you, I am not dumb enough to act on a whim. Can't wait for the adjudicator's execution order. I'll be anticipating your arrival at the court. Don't snuff the lights. I see. So he didn't really go for that thing then. Boodles of people here. No more proceedings for today. The court is closed. And then what? It's an outrage. We demand something. And they are escorted out. He's floating about.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest.
Oh, I'm not gonna attack right like that. The pleasure is mine, Your Honor. I don't think I'll bow. But of course, yeah, I think.
I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons. We come together to root out the source of our troubles, and determine which of the Archons has sown more chaos during the war.
Oh, so I have to pick one of the sides again? I think the answer to that question is obvious, adjudicator. Giving voice here is but a formality to confirm what we already know. You are a disfavored one, okay. Tune on turns to aim at what you can only assume is a stern look. He refocuses back onto you with a cool stoicism.
Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission.
Yeah.
With Kairos' mandate that only one Archon may rule the Tiers, the verdict is now more important than ever. We cannot allow this conquest to descend into total anarchy. You expressed your support for the Scarlet Chorus at the start of the Civil War, and it would seem your loyalties are consistent with those claims. Does that sound accurate?
Okay, was a faithful agent to the Scarlet Chorus. I served the Scarlet Voices of Nerat to the best of my abilities. The Scarlet Chorus makes for strange ally. Bloodmosh glances up from inspecting his score flagged what? Cultists to regard you.
So you voice no claim of devotion, only their useful function. This is interesting to note. In your professional and objective opinion, which of the two Archons is guilty of sowing the most chaos in the Tiers?
Guilty of sowing the most chaos. Most. They didn't cooperate and didn't obey orders individually. They worked against each other. I have a feeling I need to say both. Gang boss blinks, what? And he says what?
That is not an option. You were tasked with determining the guilt of one Archon and one Archon alone. Choose.
Right. The most trouble. Aye. Let's go over this. I dislike the Voices of Nerat's tactics and recruiting people rather than killing them and all that, and in the fighting and all that ruckus, and they weren't actually obeying orders necessarily that well, but the disfavored actually did attack and went into the war because they didn't get to lead the vanguard at one point. But most? Huh. If I say Graven Ash, I play it safe, and you know, stick with the voices of Nerat as an ally. If I say the other way around, then I will have lost him as an ally as well, and I will not give Grevenash back at all. I don't know. I really don't know. My inkling is that I should at some point start, you know, challenging the voices of Nerat as well, so I guess it's gonna be now.
Very well. It comes as little surprise that you would turn your back on the voices of Nerat. He is not known for inspiring loyalty. The Archon of Secrets is a force of terror in Kairos' army. Now we shall learn if he's a liability as well.
I would slay this villain myself if Bloodmulch glances up and remembers himself in Tunon's presence. That is, if I had the court's authority, mighty Tunon.
In accordance to Kairos' legal custom, you will state the crimes against the Archon and offer up your evidence. The court will weigh your claims on their merits. I would encourage you to make as many claims as possible. Bringing charges against an Archon is no small matter. They are not accountable to Kairos' laws with the same rigidity as an average citizen, so it may be more difficult to justify their guilt.
Understood.
Provided that you have the evidence to back them, of course. To make a claim lacking evidence will only harm your case in the court's eyes. Is this understood?
Yes. Well, hard evidence, I don't know about that. And Fatebinder Rogalos. You no doubt recall the categories of infraction to which Archon may be held liable. They are sedition, incompetence, war crimes, and the hoarding of forbidden knowledge. Rogalos nods to you. It is not every day that we are called upon to determine guilt in such a scale. Tread lightly.
Then we are ready to begin. State your claims, Fatebinder. You may proceed at your own pace.
Right. Can I actually see the journal or something where the evidence is? Do I actually have to remember all of whatever it has? Ah, crud. I don't remember what there was. Really? I don't. He wanted forbidden knowledge for himself. That much I do know. Because of that library business. As a difficult truth to bring to light, the fact remains that Kairos is the keeper of wisdom across Terratus, and there are avenues of study denied under her immutable law. If the Archon of Secrets treats this conquest as an opportunity to pillage forbidden knowledge towards his own ends, then this is worth the court's attention. Make your case. The censor sought to claim the silent Archon for the voices of Nerat. Kairos proclaimed an edict of fire for good reason. The sages would not relinquish their dangerous knowledge. Claiming the silent archive is an obvious transgression of the Overlord's authority. There's no telling how many recruits were exposed to dangerous lore and will require immediate execution. Really? I wouldn't worry over much. Great adjudicator. I'm sure Censor picked only the most dim and illiterate swine for the task. Not that you'll call bookish types. Unless you can personally vouch for every single recruit who entered the library, it will be up to the court's discretion to decide the magnitude of the guilt. Callion nods up to Tunon, rather. Can you voice further evidence? I've submitted enough evidence, that's the only option I have. The Archon has prepared vile acts during this campaign. I accuse him of war crimes. I don't know if he does. I don't remember any of these. I'll just go with all of these, see if there's anything. Okay. The voices from Wrath wanted the 4 bound master taken from Lethian's Crossing. The 4 bound are under my care, and no other Archon has any right to dictate their assignment, their keeping, or their welfare. This is a slight upon the very campaign. It undermines our ability to arm our forces. I'm sure the voices only wanted to look after Master Sentient's safety. Bloodmulch trails off as Tunon pins him to the spot with a gaze. Statement retracted. I believe her head is on a spike somewhere. Any other war crimes? Nope. Incompetence. Western has suffered charges of incompetence in the past, but always proved himself a capable leader and brilliant strategist. I'm curious about evidence. At the burning library, the censor twisted her mission into a sick game. Mighty Tunon, I was under the impression that an Archon could direct their forces as they saw fit, and that a game was as good as any expedition if it got the job done. Not when valuable wartime resources are at stake, and the Archon stood to lose troops for needless entertainments. Overruled. Karius takes the knowledge of the Vellum Citadel quite seriously, as do I. One of the Voices officers reduced their orders to a source of amusement that reflects poorly on the Archon. Right, and they accuse the Archon of sedition most foul. Sedition, no small matter. Okay, and what do I have here? During the Apex campaign, Scarlet Chorus recruits were permitted to engage in Tyr's festival, concluding with the enemy during the time of war. Yeah. I went trial for having fun, because the line of defendants will stretch as far as the old walls with respect. I'm not opposed to bringing humanity into wartime matters, but it seems suspicious that two gangs should want to collude with their countrymen. Did you not support the decision? Understand you was allowed to unfold? Yeah, I did actually. I allow as much. You acted in best interest in the war, though I can't say the same for the Scarlet Chorus. You have further evidence? Nope. And I've made my case.
Very well. I have weighed your evidence against the charges. The Court of Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and Counsel to Kairos the Overlord finds the Voices of Nerot guilty of sowing chaos, flaunting his authority, and using a time of war to advance his own twisted ambition. The sentence is death.
Crud. Yeah. What mockery of a process is this? The charges are all fabrications against my master, and I won't hear of it. Court of Tunon is ruled. You override pulsate. I suggest you hold your tongue. In the court of Karius' law, the court headsman will deliver the verdict as consequences to our former colleagues. I summon Blade and Mark to appear. Tunon bangs his gravel to the floor. Blood mark, shallow billows and flare ominously, flicker, then blood and deadly, seeping and gashing, eating the throne room from the farthest edges and closer, creeping still, until finally, for a single held breath, even the air goes black, and then the light has been swallowed. And there is light again, and Blood Mark, the Archon assassin, standing before you, shrouded in shades and daggers to death, and with white teeth flashing in his mouth, he laughs. Kid Adjudicator, he regards you each, eyes two coals that burn as he speaks. And who will this blade be cutting today? The usual or someone new? You are to execute the Archon of Secrets. Ah, yeah, you can go fight him, that's fine. A brow raised, the assassin flicks his gaze to Tunon. It's been a while since I snuffed an Archon. Could be a tall order, might take me longer than last time. He smiles, but it's a chilling look, something from a nightmare. Unless maybe the kid wants to take a stab at it. No, I'll leave it to him. I'll leave it to him. The assassin shrugs his offhand, unconcerned way and snaps you a passing wry smile, as if to say no skin off his back, and then turns to the adjudicators, fully, utterly and wholly dismissive of you. Go about your assignment, headsman. Trouble the court no longer with your display or your bravado, and be quick to return with the guilty party. I will abide here until you return. As you command, the adjudicator, I must enact. He bows low for the Archon of Justice, back strained. He cranes his face to you, face hard mask, as he stabs you with one last withering stare. Then the floor splits with a scream of shadows, black ingress carving through tapestry and marble and ground sibilitating through time and space. A snake striking an Archon and Bled Mark disappears. Alright. The Adjudicator turns attention to the disfavored and Scarlet's Chorus petitioners. Even though his stoic mask, the intensity of his gaze is evident. What can I do for you, mighty Tunon? Bloodmarsh winces and takes a cautious step back. Given the court's findings, I judge you guilty of association of the voices of Nurat. As he perpetrated the crimes, you had the audacity to represent the Scarlet Chorus in this Hall of Law. Really? Tunon regards you, and what of his fate student? You proved voices guilt. His servant is yours to dispense with as you see fit. He should be stripped of rank and made to serve the court. I'm guessing he can come back and kill me at some point, but fair compromise as ever. Tunon nods. Nunoval escort this one from the court. Time for discipline and reintegration will come after our business is concluded. Patience student Blended Mark approaches unknown. The Archon of Shadows is as swift as he is deadly. Tunon nods in approval. Right. With a swift, jarring, shrill hiss of shadows, the court's infamous assassin cuts from a swath of darkness, coalescing faster than the eye can follow into the form of a man, an Archon, dragging and thrashing, swearing and snarling a second Archon with him. Bledemark hauls a red-soaked, excessive dagger-struck voices of Nurat forward onto his hands and knees, spotting you, grins coldly, his own teeth rigged with dark clots. You notice his signature red painted mask gleams darker, wetter shade in places, dripping down the side of his face and neck, and pooling from other deeper wounds to mix with the shadow on the floor. He clutches a shattered arm to his chest. Patches of his clothing and skins are shined in places. He snaps two fingers, a burnt lock from the back of his hair. Damn near lost my eyebrow. He waggles them as if to make sure they're still there. Voices of Nurat. No, not like this. We were so close. His leg bound by shadow tendrils. The voices of Nurat writes in agony. His body contorting and folding ways not possible where there's solid flesh and bone beneath his rags. Oh, our memories don't leave us. No, come back. We can't face this alone. The Archon's hand darts about his body, trying to cover the numerous rips in his clothes, oozing green, luminescent energy. He sighs, likely wearied from the fight, but managing instead to simply sound out. He sighs, likely wearied from the fight, but managing instead to simply sound put out. I don't understand this sentence at all. His eyes cut like heated blades into the spymaster. Don't complain like you didn't see this coming. Didn't I warn you? If the kid wasn't your death, I surely would be. No, I won't say a thing here. This is not my thing here, really. The accusation hits your ears, a dozen different voices. We suspected this day would come, but did not think you so craven, so despicable, so morally shunted that you would turn on such a dear, dear friend as us. The Archon head begins to turn. The sound of screams, creaking metal fills the court. Oh, I was never your friend. You were really scary, and you chopped off people's heads. Anyway, the screams fall silent. A single voice, a tired tenor, a frail, aging man speaks. You had best hope let Mark and slay me for good, otherwise I will find you. Oh yeah, that is probably true. Black secretion, heavier than smoke but softer than water, rolls from the Archon of Shadow, the assassin of unknown centuries and untold kills, and he racks forward, suddenly gasping a silent, shuddering breath as his power billows from him, tangible and consuming, suffocating until it has crept from him enough to choke at another. His executioner's embrace, is a bludgeoning blot of nothingness, an expanse of endless shade that twists and shuffles, flares and snaps, and swallows both substance and light as it slowly enshrouds the howling voices of Nerat. Even the sound is consumed, and there's nothing but a darkness where the Archon had knelt. When, with a clench of Mark's fist, the shadow shifts again into him, not even a trace of blood remains. Yeah, he's a scary dude.
No! Not like this! We were so close!
With that unpleasant business out of the way, we change course to another serious matter. One that puts into question your conduct as a member of Kairos' loyal followers.
Yep, there is that. You named quite a name for yourself, Fatebinder. Stories of your deeds have spread through the tiers, and all of them have reached this court. Some actions have consequences. We will see what your actions have wrought.
The court has its own charges to present, and invites you to answer for yourself.
I'm on trial, Your Honor.
Yes, and I would ready yourself to form a defense, because your testimony could augur your doom. The trial begins now. I recommend that you treat these moments with deserving gravity, as they might be your last. Don't attempt to lie or evade answers. I will judge you in the objective eyes of our Overlord. Is that understood?
I understand,
At least
yeah.
your civility remains intact. You are on trial for transgressing on the Overlord's authority, breaking the laws of the Empire, bringing mayhem to an otherwise orderly conquest, and meddling in concerns that fell beyond your station. Our directive to bring Kairos' peace to the tiers has suffered, and you will answer for the part you played.
If you don't mind, Adjudicator, we are on familiar terms with the Fatebinder here. Should any inconsistencies require our input, we will aid our voices as testimony. She nods to Rogalos and then turns to you with an unreadable expression.
The court has inquiries into your conduct. I first call your travel companions to speak on your behalf as witnesses to your character or accomplices to your crimes.
Grand.
Who will speak on behalf of the Fatebinder? Siren, Archon of Song. Give us your full report.
Of course, Your Honor. Your respect for a fellow Archon is duly noted. I thank you for asking me to add my input in this very delicate matter. I will endeavor to speak honestly and stick to the heart of the matter.
Alright.
My time with the Fatebinder has been eventful, but nothing I've seen has given me cause to praise or condemn his actions. Like any person, he does good and evil in equal measure, and it all seems to balance itself out in the end.
Diplomatic answer.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? The Ironclad Commander will step forward, if indeed he has the strength to walk.
You want me to speak, Adjudicator? To be perfectly fair, the Fatebinder isn't the type to share war stories. I respect the silence, but if you're looking for my honest opinion, I've nothing to give.
Okay.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Let the aged chronicler step forward.
If it may please the court, I will speak true.
Well, you've written everything down even.
I have had the honor and privilege of shadowing the Archon. A dream come true for someone so eager to witness history in the unfolding. I can say, with conviction, I am following greatness.
and if required, I would produce my travelogue to back my claims. I've noted the good with the bad, and I think you'll find the Archon has been a force of order and balance, exactly what you should want from a Fatebinder.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf?
These were the people that were with me. Those at the tower, they are not here, right? Nope, evidently not. The time has come for the Fatebinder to offer his testament. You sent the Forgebrand Master to the Voices of Narath, where Kairos only knows what awful fate she suffered. She was under my protection. Okay. Yeah, that I didn't actually want to do. How else was I supposed to get the Voices to trust me? More wrath. A fine question, Fatebinder. In whose trust you place your greater importance, mine or that of the Archon of Secrets? Because mine has been challenged to no end by your poor judgment. If you are my vassal, you should have kept your priorities firmly in mind. You entered the old walls, a clear violation of Kairos' law. How do you answer for this perversion of justice? Do you think yourself about the law? Circumstances took me there, your honor agreed. The transgressions was necessity to complete my task. The law stood in the path of justice. Go with number 2 here. Kallio. The law stood in the path of Fatebinder. Kallio shakes her head in confusion. I hope you hear yourself, because that statement alone shows extraordinary contempt for our work. Yeah. Ever since you arrived in Tears, you have proven stubbornly tight-lipped. Your speech is often stilted, as by some greater terror of apprehension. Can you even answer this abnormality, or you're too simple to manage it? My dispensation of justice, I find it most useful to let others do the talking while I observe and allow them to incriminate themselves, I think. That's as ridiculous an excuse as I ever... No, Kallio, I'm not going to allow this. That is a better justification than I had suspected. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity. You obeyed the Voices of Narath, assisted his Scarlet Mob with distinction, and yet you turned on the Archon when I called you on trial. Explain your motivations. Scarlet Chorus is built on challenging your superiors. What I did here is no different. I was just hoping to fight one less Archon, and the Voices of Narath scared me the most. That is probably quite true. But I don't know if I want to answer that though. A subterfuge. I believe the Voices of Narath orchestrated deceitful plots against service of Kairos, and I wanted to get at the bottom of it. Let's go with number 3 here. You speak with the voices of a clear-headed judgment, which I find refreshing from this time of conflict. I believe you.
I have one final question, Fatebinder. You were brought to this campaign to adjudicate the disagreements between the two armies. After your arrival, matters quickly escalated into a civil war. Did you knowingly join the conquest of the Tears to sow discord in your wake? Or were you merely a victim of circumstance?
I don't know what the answers are here. Okay. Whatever harm I've done, the Archons have committed 100-fold. No, I'm not going to go with that one. I recognized the Archons' corruption from the start. It was only a matter of time before they turned on each other. I was prepared for that eventuality. I joined this conquest for the glory of Kairos, but less certain that the Archons did it for the same reason. You're not seriously weeping over the fallen campaign of this backwards land of savages. You credit me with starting a civil war, adjudicator. I'm flattered. Well, yeah, it was only a matter of time before they started.
If you anticipated a failure on this scale, you should have informed me, or else worked to avoid it rather than pit combatants against each other.
Yeah. Through the wisdom of the court, no one was bound. Ruggles turned to you with an imperious look.
I am finished with my line of questioning. Have you any closing remarks for the court?
I thought I'd ever strive for bringing peace and order to the shattered region. I recognize that our work is an uphill battle and well worth the struggle. The years have shown me that war and conflict can change the face of the tiers. I am the hammer that pounds ore into workable shape. Crisis peace is a lie. The Overlord has dominion because we are ignorant to alternatives. The better Overlord stands before you, ready to define justice as he sees fit. I just wanted to say that I don't recognize this court majority to judge me, thank you, or challenge you, but no. Let's go with number 1 here.
The way you frame it, the conquest sounds like a matter of true personal investment. Most curious. After weighing the charges, this court finds you guilty of all charges. It is this court's opinion that you are a seditious mastermind, a scheming derelict, and a traitor bent on sowing the destruction of the Northern Empire. The sentence is death. You nearly had me convinced that you were the right and lawful power, worthy of governing this realm, or even the Empire itself. I cannot accept that possibility, no matter how distant. You've proven yourself an incredible force, a just one, even. I have to destroy you for it. Everything you represent endangers what we've built. The Empire herself trembles in your passing.
I will not attack, you will have to attack me. We shall see about that, I guess.
Hubris in the face of annihilation. My court and the world at large are better rid of you, wretched thing. Blood and Mark, execute him.
Right. No control here, okay. Blood and Mark emerges from the shadows behind you. He steps forward with purpose, his dagger drawn. Say nothing, prepare to fight.
More
And new quest, assault. We get levels and all sorts of things. Guess we're fighting here, but I've actually spent a lot of time on this episode, so I actually think I will carry on this fight in the next episode, and I will take a break here. Thank you very much for watching.